Hello everyone, I am Udit. Warm welcome to my channel. Today in this video, we are going to talk about Amazon's interview experience. I recently gave Amazon's interview like few months back, and I thought I should share the experience with all of you so that it can maybe help you for your own interview with Amazon. Just a suggestion, watch the video till the end so that you get the complete idea of what questions were asked, what were the format of the interviews, and what were the expectations with each interview. So just stay tuned with me, and I hope this will help you guys. Great. So basically the summary is I had 4 rounds of interview. First of all, HR called me. There was a consultant which was involved, so I had a discussion with consultant. I just gave him my basic idea of my profile, where I am working and what all things I'm looking at looking from my future job. So that basic discussion I have with the consultant. Then consultant forwarded my profile to Amazon, and then Amazon shortlisted it, and then I started, and then the interview process started. So one of the very good things with Amazon is Amazon actually gives you a lot of good material for preparation. They give you like so many guides, like what all is expected. The HR of Amazon, like the recruiter who is from Amazon, not the consultant, but the recruiters of Amazon are very helpful in that sense. Like they tell you most of the things, like what is expected from the interview, what all things you should prepare. There's a focus on behavioral or leadership principle skills, so they make sure that you are aware of that and you prepare well for that too. They even give you some sample questions, like what can be asked. It's not like exactly the problems which will be asked, but just to give you an idea what sort of questions can be asked, like in behavioral, because behavioral and leadership principles is the one area which most people are not aware of. So I really appreciate Amazon's recruiters in that, for that thing. Like the recruiter who was there for me, he was really helpful, and he told me, he cleared a lot of doubts for me, like what all interview process will be there. Great. So basically, I had like 4 rounds of interview. They were except the HR round, HR discussion, which happened in the beginning. That was the informal discussion, like what all I am working on, my skills, and those sort of things. But the core rounds were 4. The round 1 was problem solving in DSLGO. We'll be discussing. We're going into detail of each of the rounds in detail in a minute. But just now, I am telling you the summary. So round 1 was, as I told you, it was focused on problem solving and DSLGO skills. Then second round was focused on low level design. Then round third was focused on solving a vague problem. So there was a real world problem given to me, and I need to, I had to actually solve that problem. I had to write the code for it, and I also had to define the requirements, remove the vagueness from it, remove the ambiguity, define the problem clearly. So it was like a very big problem given to me, or a very vague problem given to me, and I had to come up with a final solution. We'll discuss that in detail once we go to the round 3 details, right? Round 4 was mainly focused on high level design. So these were the 4 rounds which I went through in Amazon. So let's go through details of each of the rounds. So in the round 1, as I told you, it was a problem solving round. So there were 2 questions given to me. Question 1 was that there's a weather.com site, and it is providing you a list of forecast, and at any day you have to find out when is the next warmer day available. So for example, the input is given you as a list, and in the list each number represents the weather of that current day. So the days start from first day, second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, sixth day, and so on. And each number in the array, if you start from 0, then 0th day, first day, second day. Don't consider me a non-technical guy, since I started in array indexes from 1. But yeah, I was just doing that for better clarity. But yeah, let's start. And this is from 0. So let's say at 0th day the weather is 60, at first day the weather is 90, at second day the weather is 76, right? So there's an input array given to you, and each number in that input array represents the weather on that day. And in the output array you have to return for each day when is the next warmer day. So for example, for 60, the next warmer day means the day which is warmer than 60, which in itself means a day which has more temperature than the current day, right? Like the index actually which has more value than 60. So which is, and just and that number should be the next one. So for example, 90, 76, 80, these are all warmer days than 60, but the just next one is 90, so which is 1 day apart, right? So you will return 1 over here. It's not because of its index 1, but it is because 1 day apart, like uh, after 1 day 90 is coming, right? So that's why you return 1 over here. Let's see more examples. So for example, let's say for 90, the next warmer day is 100, right? So you have to return 3 because 1, 2 and 3, it's on third day. The next warmer day is 3 days apart, so you return 3 over here. Similarly for 76, next warmer day is 80, so this is again 1 day apart, so you return 1 over here. For 80, um, 1 over here. For 76, for 80 the next warmer day is 100, so you return 1 over here also. For 100 actually there is no warmer day, right? Like no next warmer day, because it's 62 and 90 and there is no number bigger than 100 after 100, so you return 0 over here. For 62 it's again 90. For 90 there is again no warmer day available after this, so you return 0 over here. So that was first question which was given to me, and the solution of the actual solution of this problem was expected to be of complexity of order n. This is a time complexity, and the approach is actually the problem is solved by using a stack. It's a it's a very standard kind of a problem, which is very not actually standard, but a very famous problem, um, which is available in different languages, I mean, like different formats, but essentially the solution is like using stack. So you can go through this, or maybe try to solve this problem on your own, and then maybe just find out online like how to solve this problem. I'll not be going through the detailed solution of each of the problem. I'll just give you an overview. Okay, so the second problem which was given to me, it was this, like you are given a complete binary tree and you have to compute the number of nodes in that tree. So you can be thinking like it's a fairly easy question, right? Like you are given a binary tree and you have to compute a number of nodes, but it's not actually that easy, because it's not only a binary tree, it's a complete binary tree, and complete binary tree has some property, and because of that property you can actually compute the number of nodes in the tree in in lesser time instead of. So for example, like if you had to count the number of nodes in a binary tree, you would say that I will visit each node once by using recursion or something, and then I will count the number of nodes by that way, right? Like the complexity of that would be order of n, where n is the number of nodes in the tree. But because of this special property of complete binary tree, you can actually compute the number of nodes in lesser time, which is actually the order of height square complexity. So height of a complete binary tree will be log n, and so you will be able to find the number of nodes in log square n, right? And that is happening because of a special property of complete binary tree, and you are because of that special property you are able to discard half of that tree at at any given level, and thus you have to only traverse log n number of nodes, and at each node you will be doing log n calculations, so overall it takes log square n. Again, I'm not going into very deep solution of this or detailed solution of this. You can just find online for the exact solution. So that was the first round where I was asked these two questions. These two questions were based on problem solving and DSLGO. The focus of this round was like, like I should give this solution correctly. That's always expected in the with the correct complexity and with the correct approach, but also write the complete code and without leaving any edge cases. One of the very important things for Amazon kind of companies is like, when you're writing code, it should be production level code. You should not leave any edge cases in that. It should not have any bugs. Like, if you are asked to directly run that code in production, then it should run without any issue. So that's a very important thing for such companies. So you should keep that in mind. It was like around 45 minutes round. I had to solve these two questions in that. Second round then happened. It was based on low level design, and I was asked to design the score calculator system of a bowling alley game. So you already know bowling, right? You throw a ball and there are some pins at the end, and you have to hit those pins, and you will score depending on how many pins you are able to pin down from there. So whatever number of pins keep standing, so you will lose that many number of points. So it's like that sort of a game, and you have to design the score calculator system. So the system should be invoked after player chance. Look, like whenever player makes a chance, that system will be invoked, and it should update the scores of all the players. So and it should provide a dashboard for viewing. So there were some rules of bowling were given. I am not going through those rules here, because you can anyways read them online, or you may already be aware of them because you might have already played bowling. But yeah, that was the actual problem. I had to design the low level design of scoring system specifically, not the whole bowling game, but only the scoring system. And that's why the most of the discussion that happened in the interview revolved around how can I design the scoring part scalable, right? Like there are different types of scores in the bowling. Like it can have a spare, it can have a strike, right? You can pin, you can actually strike specific number of, you can actually hit a specific number of pins over there. So there are different types of scores possible for each round, and then um, depending on how you're performing in each round, your final score can vary, right? So overall discussion happened around how can I make that thing scalable so that it is extensible for future requirements, the design is good, it is following good design principles, the code is clean, the class design is good. So those sort of things were discussed. The code actually was not what not I was not asked to write the full code, but only one or two functions I was asked to write. But overall interaction, how will it happen between the classes, that I was asked, right? So in Amazon specifically, when you are doing LLD, they do not ask you to write the complete code of your whole LLD. They will ask you to, design the classes, their attributes, their members, their behaviors, what functions they will have. They will ask you to do that. Then they will ask you how they will interact with each other, like various classes, how those classes are going to call each other. And then they will ask you to code random classes from them. Like let's say you created 5 classes, then they will pick any 2 3 functions from some of the classes, and they will ask you to code them, so that they know that how well are you how clear is the design in your mind, right? So that you can write the good code, and you can actually fill in those functions that you have created. Great. So that was the second round, which was on LLD. Then the third round, it was on a vague problem. It was a real world scenario, and the scenario that was given to me, it was very much related to a web crawler kind of a thing. So what I was given a page to, I was given a link to a web page, or you can actually call it a web page or any other page, but there was a link given to a site or a page, and that page actually, and actually each page lists various other links, right? Like just like a web or HTML page, you hit a page and there are more anchor links on that, right? So again, I was given a link to a page. Over here also I was given a link to a page, and from that, and from each page I can discover more different links. So I have to find out, I have to write a system where I had to find out like what are different links are reachable from a particular link. And also I have to keep a count of how many pages refer to a single page, right? So for example, there is a page A which is referred by C and also by B. So I have to return, like, A is referred by 2 pages. So that was a problem given to me, and it was like just that I was not given anything else. The whole requirements, what is included into the system, how I will define things, how I will search for links, how I will see whether that is a valid link or not, whether there is a cycle in the links or not. There are so many cases available, so that ambiguity is there. You have to remove that ambiguity from a previous experience, from a past experience, and then you have to solve that problem, and then you have to code it. So this is one a special kind of round which I have only faced in Amazon. I had never faced such kind of a round from any other company, and it was a very interesting round because I get to discuss a lot of things with the interviewer. It was not something like standard problem like LLD or something where you already know how to approach the problem, or how should you start the problem. But over here the problem was really ambiguous, and it was just given to me that you have to design this, and you have to code this end to end, and I had to define all the requirements and everything from scratch, and I had to actually then code it, and the run part was not there, but I actually coded completely. Like it was not pseudocode or something, it was fully functional compilable code, again without any edge cases or without any bugs left in the code. So that was the third round. Fourth round was on HLD, and I was given a very standard problem to solve, which was WhatsApp. It's like a messaging service, right? So I had to design an high level design. I had to do a high level design for WhatsApp. So again, the interviewer did not specify any specific requirements. I had to define the requirements first. Like as like any system design interview, if you do, you have to if the requirements are not given to you, the first step for you should be defining the requirements. So I just defined some of the requirements, like I'll be supporting one-on-one chat, I will be supporting profile, I will be supporting group chats, I'll be supporting receipts, I'll be supporting notifications. So I'll just pick 4 5 requirements and I just designed a system for that. If you're really curious, or you want to learn how to design the system, then I have already created a video on this, which is there at this link. So you can, and it's there in my channel also, so you can search for it and you can go through that video, and you can learn how can you design actually a WhatsApp system. So these were the 4 rounds specifically, and these were the questions that were asked in those rounds. One very peculiar thing about Amazon specifically is like they ask you a lot of behavioral questions, and in all the rounds. So in all the rounds, the focus was on one core tech topic, like first round problem solving, second LLT, third vague problem or ambiguous problem, and fourth is high level design. But in each of the rounds, interviewers will ask you some behavioral questions, and those questions will be like, like what's the most complex thing that you solved, that can be one kind of question. What's the most interesting conflict that you had? How did you convince of your design choices to others? There are so lot of behavioral questions that you can find on internet, and in every round Amazon interviewers asked me some of those questions, along with the core tech questions, right? So I would definitely encourage you to go through those behavioral questions if you have never gone through them, specifically if you're preparing for Amazon interviews, because Amazon interviews will definitely ask those kind of questions in your interview. So it will be way better if you just prepare for them in advance. One of the best approach to answer those behavioral questions is by using STAR method. So STAR is like situation, task, action, and result, I guess. So there's a STAR method, which is a very good way to answer behavioral questions. So which you can actually use, and you can go through by looking online. Um, so so yeah, those were the questions and rounds that were asked to me. That is it for this short video. I hope this will help you for your preparation, and it will give you some idea how Amazon interviews happen and how what type of questions are asked. And if you have any doubt, just feel free to comment down on this video. And the link to this page is already there in the description below. So I'll be putting the description. Um, I'll be putting the link into the description of this video. So if you want the link, then you will just if you want to go through this content again, then you can just click on on that link and open this page. Great. That's all from my side. Hope you like this video and it will help you in your interview preparation. If you have any doubts, as I said, just put them in the comments. And if you like the video, if you enjoy this video, then share it with your friends, like this video, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.